Modernizing EU export controls for encryption products. Encryption is everywhere. Almost every time you use a smartphone, a computer, or a Wi-Fi network, you use encryption. Each time you shop online, check your bank details, or send a large business order, you rely on encryption. With encryption, you can keep yourself and your data safe. That's pretty revolutionary, because 60 years ago, very few people had heard of encryption. Most encryption tools were only used by national governments and were top secret. Countries were hesitant to share information about encryption in case their military codes got broken. Nowadays, encryption is standard practice in most industries and is used frequently for commercial, not military purposes. Consumers and businesses need encryption to protect confidential information and vulnerable networks. Products using encryption are now the backbone of everyday technologies in digital industry. Things like computers, smartphones, ATMs, and telecom network equipment. Take the EU, for example. Countries in the EU control the export of encryption tools. They are grouped with other products that are seen to have a civil or military use. These are called dual-use products. However, the list of restricted dual-use items is very broad. The list ranges from centrifuges for nuclear hardware to underwater strobe lights and scuba equipment. Products with encryption capabilities, like software prototypes, are also on this list. That means members of the EU can't trade any goods with an encryption component without prior permission. This prior permission is a time-consuming exercise needing paperwork from different authorities. This is a shame because the EU is a major exporter of dual-use items, including encryption products. Controls on these commercial, globally available products create unnecessary delay for European companies and limits the ability for digital industry to share crucial information to better protect networks. The European Commission is currently considering changing this system. The European Parliament has recommended that restrictions on encryption-based products, like computers, be loosened and simplified. The new system would use General Export Authorizations, or GEAs. Exporters would rely on a general authorization rather than licenses on a case-by-case basis. GEAs would allow the EU to trade encrypted products like the rest of the world already does. The US lifted restrictions on encryption-related products in 2000 and is now a leader in exports. Removing the barriers to trading encryption-related goods would reduce the administrative burden for member states and national corporations, as well as improve trade. Export controls for the EU need to be modernized and harmonized. Other countries have benefited from relaxed trade of encrypted products, and so can the member states of the EU. Encryption is a commonly used commodity, and reducing export restrictions will put the EU on a competitive level with the rest of the global market for encryption products.